Hello, hello everyone! Thank you for being here. Today is live number 7 and today is gonna be a great day because we're gonna be taking a look at blueprints in Unreal Engine. So up to this point, if you've been following over in the last 6 lives, you should be able to understand how to use most of the basic tools in Unreal Engine. And basically Unreal Engine has almost the same version for all its different modules, and it's gonna be super easy if you're able to understand materials, if you're able to understand foliage, if you're able to understand landscapes. It's gonna be super easy for you to understand the rest of Unreal Engine. Also, because I've been getting asked a lot about Unreal Engine Fortnite version, it's a lot like Unreal Engine 5.2. So basically it's the same, it's just a little bit easier to use it. There are some tools you're unable to use in Unreal Engine Fortnite version, but if you're able to do what you're supposed to do with the basic knowledge of Unreal Engine up to this live, you should be able to go and play with Unreal Engine Fortnite, and you should be able to basically create a map and make it work for any sort of game you try to build. So if you haven't been following the rest of the lives, I strongly recommend that you go and double check the other recordings, because yeah, Unreal Engine Fortnite, it's super fun and it's gonna be super easy to go into it after you have the basic knowledge of Unreal Engine 5.2. So that's it for the introduction. We've covered a lot over the last 6 lives. So we're gonna be taking a look at blueprints today. And let's start by opening our map. We have a maps folder over here. We should make we have a map. Oh, okay, maps. No, we have a my stuff one over here. And inside my stuff, we have the landscape map we've been building. And we can use that one, or we can use a new one so that we can build a game. We might actually use a new one. Or actually not. We can use this one. It's alright. I'm happy with this one. So we're gonna be taking a look into player blueprints today, level blueprints, and don't worry about it. A lot of people get super nervous when it comes to blueprints because they kind of think about programming in a bad way and a complicated way, but it's not that complicated. You just need to understand some of the logic behind what's happening. So let's start by opening up the third-person blueprint that comes with the third-person template in Unreal Engine. So if you go to your content browser, then you scroll down to third-person, and then you go to blueprints. And once you're in blueprints, you're gonna be able to find the BP underscore third-person character. You double-click on that one, and it's going to open this over here. So what we have over here, whenever you open this the first time, it's the event graph. So the event graph has the nodes and the links that, okay, the nodes and the links that you use to program the logic of your game. And basically the third person character blueprint, as you can see over here, is managing how the character moves. As you can see, it has left and right, forward, backward, and it has the jump input. And these are all enhanced input actions that I'm gonna talk about probably in the next class. And let's just go over to the viewport. As you can see, we have some sections over here. We have event graph, we have a construction script, and we have the viewport. As I was telling you at the beginning, whenever you're using Unreal Engine, you're gonna be finding almost the same structure for all of the different modules that you have over here. So this is the blueprint editor. And as you can see, we have the viewport in the middle. We have the details panel over here on the right side. And we have the components section and my blueprint section on the left side. That's the default layout from Unreal Engine. And whenever you select any of the components over here, the components are the parts that build your blueprint. So whenever you select any of the components over here on the left, as you can see, we have the capsule component collision cylinder, we have an arrow component, and we have a mesh, which is basically the static mesh of the character. And whenever you select any of these ones, you're gonna be able to find on the details section some other properties that help you do stuff related to a blueprint. So we're not gonna go super deep into that, but as you can see over here, if we select the mesh and we go to the details section and we scroll down to the mesh section, we're gonna be able to find skm underscore quinn underscore simple for the skeletal mesh asset that defines our character right now. So it's this girl over here, and you can change that if you wanted to skeletal mesh many simple, and you're gonna be using the man. There is something else you can change over here. As you can see, it has something that is called animation, a section that is called animation, and you have something that is called animation class. And right now we're using the animation class for Quinn. And as you can see, the mannequin from Manny is standing in this way. This is the way Quinn stands. But if we change the animation blueprint from Quinn to Manny, he's gonna be standing in a more manly position, if you can say so. So let's just do that change for an example. Whenever you want to do any sort of changes to blueprints, you have to compile the changes. So let's click on compile, and then we can click on save, and that's actually going to make the changes you just did on the blueprint. So what we're gonna do today is that we are going to add some functionality to this blueprint of the third person character that, well, we can add two. We can add one that allows our character to move, to walk and then to run, and we can add another one that allows our character to use some sort of a ragdoll function. Whenever you press a key on your keyboard, we're gonna be able to basically just fall down and do some sort of a ragdoll. Whenever you die in GTA Vice City, that it goes like slow and then it falls and it dies or something like that. We can do something like that using a keystroke, and we're gonna program that on our character blueprint. So let's start by doing something else, and let's just hit play over here. And as you can see, whenever you hit play in this section of our project, since we are using the third person template, we're gonna be using the mannequin that we have set right now, which is Manny. So we're using Manny right now, and as you can see, he can move, he can jump, and it looks like super nice. But oh well, and something else. Whenever you press Shift F1, you're gonna be able to take control of the mouse and go out of this section over here. Nansuka, hello Nansuka, hello Les Klein, Arquipollo, ¿cómo andan? Thanks for being here. I just noticed the chat. Sorry for the super late hello. But yeah, whenever we press Shift F1, we're able to take control of the mouse and we can click on some of the settings over here in the outliner. When we go to the outliner, we can find over here the BP third person character, this one that is over here. And we can find some other stuff like the HUD, game session, stuff like that. Whatever you see over here in yellow, those are the things that happen whenever you're in play mode. You're unable to select those if you're outside of play mode. Actually, if we hit stopper now, we're gonna be focusing on BP underscore third person character. We're gonna hit stop. And now we are gonna be unable to find that one over here. Even if we type BP, we cannot find anything like that. So those are the things that come into our project, and they start happening whenever we hit play over here. And as you can see, there's something else happening whenever we hit play. Our character comes like from the sky. It falls from the sky. And it's basically using the spawn point, the camera we have right now as the spawn point for the character. So if we are up here and we hit play, we're gonna fall all the way down from that location. But we need to fix that. We don't want to do that usually whenever we're building a game. So we have to set a player start for our character. So let's just go ahead and delete over here our human reference. The one we were using to change the size of everything in the map. And now that we have deleted that one, we are gonna go and we're gonna add a basic actor into our scene that is going to be the player start. As you can see over here, we have a player start actor that we can pull over here. And whenever we take a look on it, it's like a capsule and it has an arrow. The arrow is where the character is going to be looking at whenever you hit play, and the character is going to appear on the map in the place you actually are going to place this capsule on. So if we want the character to be looking at that way, we're gonna use it that way, but we want it to look in this way. So we can see something whenever we spawn over here. And let's just move it over here to the road. So now if we hit play, even if we are like super far away, we're gonna start right over here. So this is super nice. We wanna do that. We always wanna do that. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at how blueprints work in Unreal Engine. So let's just go over here to the event graph, and as you can see, we have some input mappings, we have some nodes, we have some crazy stuff over here. This is a little bit more complex, although in Unreal Engine 5.2 this became a lot easier. Input actions are a way to map actions to a specific controller. So we have a mappings controller and we have an input action folder, and we can use both of those to build functions for our character. So before we actually go further, let's just take a look over here to this so we can understand how this works. Let's hit play over here. We have our character in this section. And if we want to actually take a look at what happens real time with the nodes that we have over here, we can go over here to where it says node debug object selected. This is the debug mode. And we can select BP underscore third person character. And when we do that, and if we start moving over here, as you can see right now, I'm just holding my left click so that I can move the camera around. And the one that is controlling the camera, the nodes that are controlling the camera over here at the top, they are kind of following a line because I'm using those ones. It says that when triggered, add controller yaw input and then add controller pitch input. So those are moving right now. And again, as you can see, if we take a look below, it says movement input, and we have left and right, and we have forward and backward. If we press left, we're gonna be able to see that there is a line that is coming from the trigger event to the add movement input. And if we go forward, it's gonna be the same. So we're basically taking some vectors and control rotation so that we can enable the character movement over here. And this is something that Unreal already has done for us. So that information is over there. And at last we have the jump input. I'm just gonna click Shift F1 so that I can move that one over here. I'm actually gonna resize my screen over here. I think it's too big. My camera is too big. I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Gonna just resize my camera a bit so that I don't cover a lot of what's on the screen. There we go. So we have the jump input over here. Let's just move this one. Is it being okay? It's not being covered. That's good. So if we jump, we can see that when it's triggered, it jumps, and when it's completed, when we release the jump button, it just stops jumping. So that's the basic function that allows you to move and jump and move the camera in Unreal Engine. That is already made for us, and that's how nodes work in Unreal Engine. This is the visual scripting. So we're gonna start by doing a different action over here. So we want to do something on our character that allows you to press a keystroke on the keyboard, and then after you press a keystroke, you're gonna be able to do some sort of a ragdoll. So to do that, I'm gonna make a right click over here. This is the event graph. You're gonna be adding all of your nodes over here on the event graph, and to add a node, it's super easy. You just make a right click on it. And as you can see, we have a search box over here, and we also have some categories below for many things. There are a lot of options over here, and you can expand any of these ones over here, and you're gonna get functions, and you're gonna get other different things. You have cinematics, you have clothing, you have focus, foliage, and you have a lot of things you can choose over here. And it's always better to search for stuff unless you have like a photographic memory and you can remember all of that. You're gonna basically use the search bar for everything you want to do over here. So we're gonna do a keyboard event. So let's just type keyboard, and as you can see right now, we have something that is called keyboard events. So we have keyboard events, and we have from like all of the numbers. We have a lot of the symbols. You have the backspace and all of the different options over here. And we're gonna basically use the keyboard R, and you should be searching for it, and I didn't. So we're just gonna search for R. So okay. It's over here, and we're just gonna select that one. And as you can see now, we have an event that is for the keyboard R. And we have another two options again, pressed and released. So whenever we press R, we wanna execute some sort of a function. So that's how you start building some of the logic over here. And I'm gonna give you an advice right now. It's gonna be, whenever you wanna hook up nodes, it's easier to pull from this pin and then as you can see there is a line over here, and then when you release the left click, is going to show you again the search bar. The search bar is going to filter for all the compatible actions that you have for this node over here. If you just press over here a right click and search, you're gonna be able to find a ton of options that may not be compatible with the node you have over here. So it's always better to pull a pin from over here and search than just to make a right click and then search for the functions. That's just a way for it's the way Unreal Engine has been built so that you can do stuff in an easy way, and so that you can also stop making mistakes about connecting information where it doesn't belong to. So yeah, we're gonna talk about variables and the type of information that you can pass, and that's gonna make a lot of sense when we talk about it probably in 2 weeks from now. So we're gonna build a series of events or nodes, and you can think of nodes as a circuit, like an electric circuit. It's just gonna execute in line, coming from this one, which is the execution pin. The triangle looking pins that we have over here, they are execution pins, and there are other pins like this one that have a circle. These ones are not execution pins, so I'm gonna show you the difference in a little bit about execution pins and something else. So just to test how this works, we are going to drag a line from pressed, and then we are going to search for print. And as you can see, we have an option over here that is called print string. So this is basically going to print something on the screen whenever we press the letter R. So we are just gonna be testing the letter R functionality. So I'm gonna hit compile over here and save, and I'm gonna hit play, and I'm gonna press R. So as you can see, we have something over there that it says testing the letter R functionality, and if I press R a ton of times, it's just gonna keep on spamming that message over there. So that's how we can find out if something is working. We just use a print string just to double check everything is all right. So we're just gonna delete that one right now, and we're gonna start connecting some of the actual nodes we're going to be using for this one. So now we are going to add a node that is called set collision enabled. Set collision enabled mesh, and it has to be a mesh because we're gonna be using the character mesh as a reference to build this function. So we have that one right now, and as you can see, we have a new node over here that is a function that is called set collision enabled, and as you can see, when you hover on top of any of these nodes, is gonna tell you what the node is going to be doing. So this one, it says controls what kind of collision is enabled for this body. What body is it talking about? The one that says target over here, and as you can see, it says mesh, and Unreal is smart enough to connect this for us from the get-go. And this mesh over here refers to the character mesh we have over here, which is basically our mannequin. If we didn't have this character mesh over here, we are able to drag it from the component section on the left and drop it over here, and we connect it, and there we go. Now we have a character mesh that is connected as a target for this function over here. So after that one, we are going to change the type of collision, and we are going to change that to query And probe, no, which one are we going to use? Query and physics, where is physics? Query and physics, collision enable, this one over here. Collision enable, query and physics, we are going to enable that one. And this is basically going to enable physics and querying this function over here. And after that one, we have, as you can see, another execution pin that is coming out of this node over here, so we can continue connecting stuff to this one. So that's how we are basically going to use most of the options. As I said before, this is some sort of a circuit, and you have to keep connecting nodes one to each other, and they are going to be executed in the order you're going to be placing them over here. So the order matters. It does matter over here when you're building stuff in Unreal Engine. So now we're going to pull something from over here, and it's going to be called set simulate physics. And then again, we are going to choose the mesh because we want to reference our character. And I'm just gonna drag this one over here. So we have set simulate physics, and we're gonna enable this option. And again, if you hover over here, it says sets whether or not a single body should use physics simulation or should be fixed kinematic. Note that if this component is currently attached to something, beginning simulation will detach it. So we are going to detach the physics control over the mesh of the body of the character we're using. And you're gonna be able to understand what we're doing right now in just a bit. And then we're gonna connect a last node over here, and that node is going to be called set physics which one is that? Set physics blend weight, physics blend weight again, and we have mesh again. So we have it over here. Let's just pull it down. And now let's just read that one. It's for setting the blend weight for physics. And if it's 1, it will enable simulation. And if it's 0, it will disable the simulation. And again, it's using our character as a reference for this one. And we're just going to change that one to 1 to enable it. So there we go. These are all of the functions that we are going to use to simulate a ragdoll whenever we press the letter R. So let's compile and then save, and now let's hit play. And we can be running and jumping and whatever, and if we press R, we're just gonna fall, and the character is going to lose control of the body, and it's gonna simulate the physics over the mesh of the character. So yeah, super trippy, super trippy. And this is our ragdoll function. And this is how you can use nodes in Unreal Engine. You might wanna take a look at different, there are a ton of different YouTube tutorials that allow you to, I don't know, if you have any questions on how to build some sort of functionality, you can just Google it. And YouTube is gonna probably show you the tutorial of someone that found out or already knows how to do some sort of function using the nodes. And that's how you usually learn. Or if you're the type of person that likes to read, you can read the manuals of how to use some of the nodes in Unreal Engine, or even in Unreal Engine, they have some courses about blueprints and how to use them. So that's the way I learn blueprints, by basically trial and error. And after you get comfortable with a lot of the different functions in Unreal Engine, you're gonna be able to understand how to do some actions in Unreal Engine a little bit faster. So let's do something else. We wanna keep our, you can see this as some sort of a code, and it should be easy to read. So it's a little bit messy right now, So let's just delete the mesh over here because it's the same one we have over here. So we can connect this links to the target for all three of these simulations. And now we can tidy up this a little bit, but we can still fix that. Let's do something else. Let's just drag this over here. So this one looks good, this one looks weird. So what you can do if you wanna fix some of the lines in Real Engine, you can double click on the line and it's going to create a reroute node. And basically a reroute node is just going to help you make things better, look better. And we can, if you hold the Alt key and then click on any of the pins, you can disconnect the pins and we can pull from this node another link, and it's still connected to the mesh. It's still the same line. We're just using a reroute node so that we can fix the look of this, and it's gonna be looking a lot better now. So this looks a lot better now. And I'm usually super picky. I have an OCD something with the lines and the precision of the nodes. So this is how Unreal Engine looks by default. Like this is how it's going to look for you always. I purchased a plugin, and the plugin is called Electric Nodes, and basically the Electric Nodes plugin allow you to do beautiful lines when you're building nodes, so that they can all be like super straight and super nice, and it's looking a lot better whenever that plugin is enabled. I enabled that one in my Spanish lives after class number 15 probably. So I'm gonna wait for that one probably, or maybe a couple more, and I'm gonna enable the plugin so that it looks better. That's just a side note. And something else you want to do is that you want to be able to let someone else know what you're doing with the code. So we can select all of the nodes over here by just dragging your mouse over here. You hold the left click and you select all of the nodes over here, and then you hit F2. Oh, sorry, no, it's C. C, so that you can make a comment that is going to let someone else know what you're doing with this piece of code over here. And we're gonna name this one ragdoll functionality, or just ragdoll, I don't know, whatever you want. So this is gonna let other people know that you're building a ragdoll functionality over here, and we can just move all of that. So we have the ragdoll, we have the jump input, we have the movement input, camera input, and add input mapping. So this is a good practice, leaving comments on the nodes you're building to let other people know easily what you're gonna be building over here, or what you're doing, or what you're controlling using this section of your code. So there we go, we have that one set, and our ragdoll is working. And now what we're gonna try to do is that we're gonna build some sort of I don't know, like an obstacle course probably. And we can build an obstacle course, and we're gonna do some quick prototype of let me just get rid of some of these mountains over here. So let's go to landscape mode, and we're gonna use the flatten option. We're gonna increase the tool strength to 1, and we're gonna increase the brush size to the max. And I'm just gonna fix some of the landscape over here. There we go. So we have some mountains over there, and I'm gonna sculpt some it's super strong. There is noise option over here that basically is going to allow you to add some noise into your it's random noise. So we're gonna use that one just so that we can take a look at some better stuff over here. And we're still gonna sculpt some stuff over here. Why is that? Because I'm crazy and I don't wanna oh. There we go. Oh, something is weird. Something is glitching out. So there we go. It's like slow. That is so weird. Slowing down on me. 41 degrees. Let me just... I've been working all day long, so maybe it's just being weird on me because it's already too hot. Okay, there we go. So we have that one there. And now we are going to go over here into our player start and let's change the size of this. We could actually build something all the way over here. Maybe it's too far away. Oh yeah, I think I know what I want to do. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna build some sort of a... I'm just gonna increase the tool strength. Base, so that we have to move. We're gonna use the flatten node, so we can flatten some of the map over here. And just be patient with me. What happened there? Yeah, something weird happened. There we go. And we're gonna use this smooth tool so that we can smooth some of the rough edges over here. Because otherwise we're gonna get some artifacts like these ones over here. And it might be too small, probably. Oh, there we go. That's good enough. We're just gonna be using something like super fast. And now I'm going to show you, I think I showed you this one, probably not. We have landscape mode, selection mode, foliage mode, and we have a modeling mode. In modeling mode, you're gonna be able to build some other stuff from Unreal Engine. This is only available in 5.2, 5.1, yeah, 5.1 and 5.2. And you're gonna be able to build some of some options over here. So we're gonna build some stairs, and we're gonna try to make it kind of nice. So let's place it over here, and now we can change the number of steps that we are going to be using for this section. So it's 62 steps in height if we want to go all the way to the top in this mountain. We're just being dramatic over here. And we can increase the width of the stairs. And we can change other settings, but we're just gonna leave it there. And we're just gonna hit accept over here, and this is going to create the stairs. This is just the preview of what we're building over here. So let's just hit accept over here, and let's go back with shift 1 to selection mode, and now we can rotate these stairs, and we're gonna be able to go up in a mountain. By using this set of stairs. We're just building something super basic, super basic. Here we go. So at the top, we are gonna build a an obstacle course. Okay, we got some. There we go. And we're just gonna move also the player start so that we can appear over here, and we're gonna rotate it. We're gonna press W so we can move it up a bit. If you were able to see that, it said bad size. That's because it was in the middle. And if you do that and you try to spawn a character over here, you're gonna get some troubles with Unreal Engine. The game might crash on you, or you might fall below the ground and just keep falling. So it's better to always have it a little bit up. And there we go, problem fixed. There we go. Also, whenever you're building a game, you want to start by prototyping. So this is a super quick way of prototyping this over here. And at the very top, whenever you get to the mountain over here, we're gonna add some obstacles, or you're gonna have to evade over here. Otherwise, you're gonna die. And when you get to the end over here, you gotta touch a whatever. And you're gonna win, and you're gonna get a message that you just won, and we can restart the game from there, or I don't know, do something else that's fun. We can add some collectibles as well. We can add some coins. So we're just gonna go deep into that right now. So let's start by doing something else. I told you that we were going to add functionality to our third-person character blueprint, so that we could run because it moves super slow. So I'm gonna show you something over here. When you go to the components of the VP third-person character, over here on the left we have something that is called character movement. The character movement component actually manages the movement of your character. So you have some options, and they are already built by the Unreal Engine masters. So you don't have to do anything with this. You can play with some of the options over here. So you can see we have something that is called max walk speed. Max walk speed when crouched. You have the jump and falling velocity, and you have some other options that you can use over here for networking, swimming, flying, rotation, movement, etc. So we're just gonna take a look at this option right now that is called max walk speed. So we're gonna change that one, and let's put it at 800 centimeters by centimeters, whatever, by second. So let's compile, let's save, let's go to landscape, and as you can see now, our character moves a little bit faster. So if you move faster, you have more momentum, and you're gonna be able to go a little bit faster. He even slides a little bit, as you can see over here. And we can change that by changing the friction of the floor and doing some other adjustments. But we're just gonna do something else. So what we wanna do is that we wanna do some sort of logic so that we can use the max movement speed and set it to something specific whenever we are pressing shift. We want to move faster, and whenever we're not pressing shift, we want to go back to walking. So let's set the max walk speed to 200 right now. Let's compile and save, and let's see how that looks like. So now if we walk, we're walking, and we're walking super slow. And since we don't have any sort of functionality to run, right now it's gonna be like that, and it kind of sucks. So let's change that. To change that, we are going to use another functionality, and we're gonna take a look at input actions from Unreal Engine. And this is new, this is nice, this is something new. You didn't have this available before. So if you go to the third person folder, you have the blueprints, and you have a folder that is called input. Inside input, you're gonna find another folder that is called actions. So let's open up actions over here, and as you can see, we have some other actions inside. There's one action to jump, one action to look, and one action to move. This one controls the camera, this one the jump, and this one the movement. So we're gonna create a new input action. So let's make a right click over here on the content browser, and we go to the input option over here. And from the input option, we have an input action option over here. We're gonna select that one, and we are going to name this one. Again, this is a standard naming. You're gonna be, you want to use standard names so that you can find stuff faster in your project. So all of the input actions, they have IA because of their input actions. So IA underscore, and we're gonna change that to run. So IA underscore run. And once we've made that one, let's just go back to input. And over here on input, we have something that is called IMC underscore default. Let's open that one. And this is the mapping that I was telling you about. So when you check this input mappings over here, this is the input action, and the input action is tied to a key on the keyboard, a key on a controller, and some sort of other stuff on a mobile device. So this is super nice. This is something that we didn't have before, and now it's available in Unreal Engine 5.2. So let's add a new mapping. Let's click on the plus button over here, and now we are going to search for shift. And as you can see, we have two options, left shift and right shift. We're gonna be using left shift, as all the games do. And we're just gonna save this one over here. What happened over here? Validation fail, AMC default check. Okay. A mapping cannot have an empty input action. Oh, I forgot to choose IA underscore run. So we have to choose the input action from over here, and then we can select the keyboard key we want to use for this input action. So IA run is going to run whenever we press the left shift. So we're gonna save that one, and now it works. We can always dock this one over here. And now that we have a mapping, we can go back over here to our BP underscore third person character. This is the blueprint. And we go to the band graph, and over here in the band graph, in the same way they added these input actions to move and jump, we can make a right click and search for IA run. So you can see we have something that is called enhance action events, which is the same option we have over here at the top. So you have a ton of options over here. You have triggered, you have started, you have ongoing, canceled, completed. And how you set this up is going to depend on what kind of device you're going to be using for this, and what kind of functions you're going to be building. So what we want to do is that we want to set the max walk speed of the character to, let's say, 750 probably, I don't know. We want to set that one when we are pressing the shift button, and when we let go, we want to go back to walking speed, which is 200. So first, let's make a right click over here, and we're gonna search for max walk speed. And if you cannot find it, we have to make sure that the context sensitive button over here is disabled. Let's just disable that one. And as you can see, now we have an option. So we have get and we have set. And get is if you want to get the information from this variable, and set is if you want to set a specific change to a variable. So we want to change the information of the speed, so we want to use a set option. So we can use a set max walk speed for this one, and we can duplicate this one because we are going to be using the same one for when we let go. So when we start, we want to set this to 750, and when we let go, we want to set this to 200, so we can go back to walking. So let's compile. Okay, oh, we don't have a target, so we have to get a target over here, and the target, we can get it from our BP third person character. We can connect that one over here, so that can be our character. So we can drag from this one, and we can cast. No, this is not a cast. This is a man, I forgot. Which one is this one? This one is, let me double check. Let me double check which one is this one. And I just did that, and I just forgot. Sometimes I just go dry with this. So we have this. Oh, I have this on my Google Drive. Yep, I have this over here. So, man, I have a lot of info saved over here. So this is MetaHuman information. I don't want to do that one. Where is the other one? I have no idea. Should we have... No, this is not gonna be a mesh compatible thingy because it's a character movement component. Ah, damn it, I'm such a dumbass. It's a character movement component. Such a dumbass. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go and double check over here what kind of character, what kind of target we are trying to search. So I just had to double check on that one, and it was super easy. Such a dumbass. There we go. So let's go back. So this is a character movement. Whenever you're kind of like wondering what kind of variable type input and output you can get from this, you can hover your mouse over this one, and as you can see, this one takes a float single precision value if you want to use a variable to change this one over here. And this option for target, as you can see, it takes a character movement component object reference, which is this one over here. So now we have a character movement component. We can compile and we can save, and we are gonna be able to hit play. And as you can see, we're walking, and if I press shift, I can run. Yay! So now life is better. Any game is better whenever you can run. So there we go. So we're up here, and up here we want to build some sort of an obstacle course. We could actually do it in the air, but it's gonna be like super hard to go through that one. But I'm just gonna show you the rest of the options with blueprints. So let's just go and do something else. We're gonna create a blueprint from an object, or we can create a blueprint from. Okay, I'm gonna create a blueprint object from scratch, so that you can take a look at what we're gonna do and how a blueprint looks like when it's empty. So we're gonna go to My Stuff, the My Stuff folder, the one we're using to save stuff. We have maps, materials, and we have this should be a folder for static meshes. Let's just drag the wooden box over here that we used in some of the examples, and then we're just gonna fix up redirectors, and we're gonna delete this over here, and we're gonna add a new folder that is going to be called Blueprints. So inside the Blueprints folder, we're gonna make a right click, and we can now select over here from the basic assets a blueprint class. Whenever we have the blueprint class option, we can select if it's gonna be an actor, if it's gonna be a pawn, a character, a player controller, game mode based actor component, scene component. We have these options to create a common blueprint, and it's gonna be an actor right now. So let's create an actor blueprint class, and we're gonna call this one BP. It's always because we need to use standards. Any sort of blueprints you're gonna be creating in Unreal Engine, you have to call them BP and then underscore whatever the blueprint is going to be for. So this one is going to be obstacle, I don't know, obstacle shape. Yeah. Let's just double click on that one. And as you can see, it's empty. So it's just BP obstacle shape, and it doesn't have anything over here on the components. And we have some basic options for the blueprint. So we're gonna start by adding a new component to this one. We wanna add, as you can see, we have some common components over here. We have sphere, cube, plane. We have some AI options, we have some animation options, AR, audio, and we have basic shapes. So we can use a basic shape so that we can add some functionality to this one over here. So we're just gonna drag this a little bit up so that it can be on top of the floor. Oh, I'm using the wrong button. There we go. And we're gonna change the scale of this. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. And you can change using the same gizmos that you use in the editor window in Unreal Engine. So they are the same gizmos, and you can use W so you can go back to move, and then E so you can rotate, and then R so that you can scale some of the options. Or let's just scale this one a little bit and press W so we can move it and put it on top of the grid that we have over here. So there we go. We have now a cylinder, and this one is a blueprint. A blueprint is basically, you can look at it if you're, well, if you know a little bit about programming, and you have object-based programming. I think that's the right name in English, I'm not sure. So you have object-based programming, and basically you use that so that you can reuse some of the stuff you have on the game. So instead of creating a lot of these ones differently, we're just gonna create a set of rules within this blueprint, and we're just gonna repeat that every time we drag the blueprint onto our scene. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about right now, and it's gonna make a little bit more sense. So this is our blueprint, and we want our blueprint to, well, this is gonna be an obstacle. So what we wanna do is that we wanna enable some sort of a death whenever you hit any of these, this is gonna be moving. This is gonna be a moving pillar. So we wanna, yeah, we wanna die whenever we get hit by this cylinder over here. So in order to add that functionality to die, we're gonna click over here on add. We're gonna add a new component, and we now are going to use a collision. So we have a box collision, a capsule collision, and a sphere collision. I talked about collisions in class, well, live number 4. Yeah, live number 4 was about collisions and how collisions, well, basically they allow you to crash onto something. So we're gonna use a collision so we can detect that we are touching this pillar over here, and we're gonna add a a capsule collision, and we're just gonna leave it as capsule by name, and we're just gonna change the size of this one, and we're gonna change the size in C to probably 10. No, that's too much. 5. That's too much. 2. There we go. No, that's still too much. 1.5. And let's just move it up. We have to make sure that it covers all of our thingy over here. Maybe 1.3. 1.3. Let's just move it down. And this one is a little bit thicker. It does have to be a little bit wider than what we have over here, so that we can cover the static mesh. So let's make it 5 in X and 5 in Y. Yeah, that looks good. So whenever you get near, maybe that's too near. Maybe let's put it on 4 and this one on 4. Yeah, that's too close. Is it too close? No, this one is good. I think this one is looking good. Probably this one can be a little bit smaller so that we can have exactly, yeah, there we go. This is looking good. So whenever you came, whenever you cross, yeah, whenever you overlap this this collision, this collider, we're gonna activate a function to die. So if we select the collision over here and we go all the way down, we're gonna find a list of events, and there is one event that is called onComponentBegin overlap. So whenever your character overlaps this over here, this collider, we are going to be activating a function. So let's just click on the plus sign over here. And as you can see, we are now taken to the event graph of the BP obstacle shape. So over here, we can add the logic for our capsule so that we can die whenever we hit this one over here. So we could use, no, that one is for, we can use, what can we use to die? We can actually take a look at this function that we are using for the ragdoll. We are going to use the same functionality that we have over here for the ragdoll. We're gonna convert this, instead of using R, because this was just, well, this was just to show you, we are going to create a custom event over here. Custom event. So you make a right click on the event graph, and then you click on the option add custom event. And basically this one is going to be the death. What we're doing right now is that we are gonna connect this one over here, and instead of pressing R for the ragdoll, because it doesn't have any sort of good functionality for the game, we are going to call this function from the blueprint that we have over here whenever we die. So yeah, that makes sense, I think. Let me just double check on that one. Can we do that? Yeah, I think we can do that. Yeah, we can do it. It's not gonna die. So if we just leave it as it is right now, whatever comes in touch with this pillar on our scene is going to die and is going to crash the game, and we don't want to do that. So we're gonna pull over here from other actor an option that is going to be called cast to BP third person character. So this function is only going to work whenever the pillar is going to come in touch with our third person character. So whenever it comes in touch with our third person character, we can now call a custom event that is going to be our death event. As you can see, it's on the BP third person character, and it has the death option over here. We are calling from the other blueprint the function to die, which is the ragdoll. And yeah, and that's about it. Compile. Oh, we have a target again. BP third person character object reference. So the object reference for this one is going to be a BP third person character. This one over here. There we go. So we're going to connect these two over here, and we should be able to die whenever we touch the pillar. So let's drag the pillar we just made over here into our scene. There we go. Looks super sexy. And now we're gonna hit play and we're just gonna run. And we died. So this is super basic. We're just prototyping some basic functionality. And maybe I wanna move, this is too dramatic. I wanna move the player start over here so that we don't have to run. There we go. Let's hit play. We can see it over there, and let's just walk. If we touch it, we die. And we fall. There we go. So that's the idea. And we have to add some movement to these pillars so that it can be fun to actually run through some of them moving. But this one is basically working over here. And we can even add some more options over here after we die. How do we want to do it? We wanna. I'm just double checking how we want to do this mentally. Okay, let's do something else over here, and let's do a print string over here. Oh, let's create a widget. I'm gonna jump some classes, and I'm gonna show you how to create a basic widget. A widget in Unreal Engine is how you call the user interface. So I'm gonna show you first what's gonna be the difference. So we can call a print string over here, and as you can see, if we drag it after this over here, is going to automatically connect these two pins in between. So this is super nice. This is a good addition into 5.2. And over here we can say wasted, like when you die in GTA. So let's go and check this. Let's play and let's touch this. And as you can see, we have a message over there that says wasted. So instead of having that message as a print string, which is the way you're not supposed to do stuff, you have to call something into the user interface. You can use the screen of the game to display a message. So we're gonna do something like that. So we have our blueprints over here. We're in my stuff and then blueprints, and we have the obstacle over here. We're going to create a new sort of, and I'm just jumping some classes over here just to do something cool. We're just gonna add, instead of adding a blueprint, we're gonna add a widget. And as you can see, we can go over here to user interface whenever you make a right click in the content browser, and then go to widget blueprint. And we have a user widget, which is the common one. So again, there is a standard for naming widgets, and damn, I forgot. What's the standard for building widgets? It's oh man, I'm lagging today. I forgot. Let's name it UI. I have no idea. I forgot. Let me just double check that. Standard to name widgets in Unreal Engine. Where is that? Ah, there we go. I was so dumb. Yeah. So WBP is the standard for what happened here. There we go. So WBP widget blueprint is the standard name you're going to be using for widgets in Unreal Engine. For anything related to widgets and user interface, you're going to be calling it WBP, and then you're going to give it the name of what it does. So WBP, and this one is loose, or yeah, loose condition, loose, WP loose, yeah, WP loose. And we're gonna open this one, and this is a widget editor. There is a lot of different modules in Unreal Engine, so widgets are a different class, and it will take me probably a couple of hours to explain and go in depth whenever we're using blueprints, widget blueprints in Unreal Engine, because there is a ton to use over here. But we're just gonna keep it basic. But it's better than just using what we just used right now. So first, whenever you're creating any sort of user interface in Unreal Engine using widgets, we want to call a canvas panel. We're gonna drag it over here, and this is gonna be the screen of the computer. So on the screen of the computer, we are going to drag from the common objects a text block. So the text block, you can change the size, you can change the color, you can change the alignment, you can change anything about this over here. You can even change the font and all of that, and you can import some fonts into Unreal Engine. So we're just gonna be using let me just, where's the hex? Hex is sRGB. No. I wanted to use, what is going on here? Hex linear. Hex linear. Some sort of a black, or is white better? I don't know. Let's use this one. Let's change the size of the font. If we go to the font, we can change it to 42. So we have our text block over here. We're gonna make it bigger as well. So we can hold all of the text over here. And we have to make sure it's aligned in the center, and it's at the center over here. I think it is. There we go. There was an option to align. Where is align? Anchors. Oh, there we go. I found it. Alignment. No, that's not the one. There was an option. Is it a plug? I think, oh, I'm using a plugin, sorry. So we're just gonna leave it as is, and we're gonna drag this flower that we have over here. This is the anchor, and we're gonna basically anchor this text always so that it can be always in the middle of the screen. And that's about it. And we're gonna change the text inside the text block, and it's going to say wasted. Compile, save, there we go. Now we're gonna go back in here, and instead of calling a print string, we're gonna be calling a widget blueprint, and then the widget blueprint, we're gonna be calling something else. Am I off? No? No, I'm good. I thought I was not streaming anymore. Oh, there we go. I'm good. I'm good. There we go. Just going to double check on that. So we are going to be calling something over here. We're going to be calling the wasted print string. But I'm going to do something else before we die. We're gonna set the global time dilation. Yeah, if we wanna do exactly what GTA does, before we pass on to something else over here, we are going to add a set global time dilation node. And what this is going to do is that it is going to slow time. And we are going to slow time by 0.3. And then after this, before we die, or is it after we die? So where do we want to die? Delay and open. Okay, so after we die, we want to add a delay to the game before we run something else. We're gonna add a delay of 4 seconds. And then after we add a delay of 4 seconds, we are going to call the level again. Because if we die and we just ragdoll, we cannot control the character anymore. So we wanna reload the world again so that we can start and try to do the rest of the stuff we wanna do. So we are going to be calling a function that is called open level by object reference. And whenever we do that one, we select over here on the level asset, the name of the map we are using to do this over here. So this one is the landscape. As you can see, we have landscape level over here. And we are going to open that one after 4 seconds after we die. And to add a widget, let me double check. How do we want to add a widget? What do we want to do? Oh, there we go. I think I know what I want to do. So cast to BP, I'm just checking. So cast to BP, and then we die. Yeah, I'm just checking the order. Probably the set global time dilation is after this one. Or no. No, I wanna make it slower so that when we start falling, it's already slow. And then after we die, oh no, because the ragdoll enters over here. Let's just double check, let's compile and let's save this and let's open the level and let's test. Oh yeah, so as you can see, the time is going like super slow. So we should be doing good. And then after 4 seconds, it should reload the world. There we go. And it's reloading after 4 seconds after we die. So that's nice. That's working fine over there. And we wanna display the message. So we enter death mode. And before we go into this one, we wanna do the widget. So we're gonna call from over here. It's widget, create widget, and we're gonna choose over here our widget, and it's WBP loose, and we're just gonna basically call this into our scene. Before we delay this over here, we want to bring the widget to screen, because by default the widget is gonna be hidden. So we have to add to viewport. There we go. And now this should be working as intended. So let's review again. We are inside the obstacle shape we just created, and whenever we touch any of these obstacles, on component begin overlap is the name of the collider. Whenever we touch it, whenever we touch this, oh, this one I can delete it. Just connect this one over here. So as soon as you touch it, we are going to slow time, and after we slow time, we are going to tell it to apply death to our third person character, which is the ragdoll effect. And then after we die, we wanna bring the widget, which is the message that says wasted on big in the screen. And we wanna bring that one to the viewport. We add a delay before we reload the level again, so that we can start playing again. Again, add to viewport. This one is connected to this. There we go. And that's it. So let's test our functionality. We touch it, and it says wasted. And we're gonna fall over there super slow motion. And if we were running, because we're supposed to build an obstacle course that, well, you have to go and run super fast. So if you're running, you come across that one, it's gonna be a lot more interesting. So it's looking good. How much? Okay, so it's been an hour and 23 minutes. So it's taken me longer than I thought it would. So we're just gonna finish the obstacle course on the next class, well, the next live. And we're gonna add some movement to the pillars over here. Ah, damn it, I fell. And then we're gonna probably prototype a better level. I don't know, for something else. Something weird is going on. I'm unable to go up. But I wanted to die in the air. And that looks a lot better. As you can see, I'm falling over there. And that looks very, very nice. Satisfying. There we go. So it's been super fun. We've been over the basics of blueprints in Unreal Engine. So what we did today is that we added some ragdoll functionality to our character, and then we also added a functionality so that we can actually run whenever we press the shift button. And we also created a new blueprint, and the blueprint is for this cylinder over here. We added a collider, and the collider has an on component being overlap event. We added that one, and it took us over here to the event graph. And what we are doing over here is that whenever we overlap the collider of the cylinder, and we are going to slow the time, and then we are going to make our character die, which is using the ragdoll. We changed, remember, that one to a custom event in the third person character. So instead of pressing R, we're using this custom event, and we are calling that custom event over here and applying it to the third person character. And after we die, we show the widget, which is basically just we're using the user interface, and we're just showing this message that says wasted. Probably is gonna look a lot better in white, and I just screwed up over there. I'm just gonna leave it over here. And if you're a better designer than myself, you're gonna be able to do so much better over here. And we create the blueprint on the screen, we add it to the viewport, and then we delay the game 4 seconds before we start the game again. And this is using this node that is called open level, and this is basically going to allow us to choose which level we want to open after we execute this series of options over here. So let's say if we added this, if this was a blueprint for a portal, and the portal should take you to a dungeon, you're gonna be using this function over here that is gonna be connected to the onComponent begin overlap for the portal. And whenever you go and touch the portal, it's gonna load the other level, and is basically going to call the dungeon. That is how you use this. So knowing the basics in Unreal Engine is going to allow you to build so much more when it comes to games. So this is just the start. We're gonna add, I'm gonna teach you how to do metahuman characters on the next live. And we're gonna be using that metahuman character instead of using the mannequin. And after that, we are gonna be maybe adding some functionality. Well, we're gonna finish adding some obstacles to the curves. We're gonna make them move, and we're gonna add something over here that we need to touch in order to win. And when we touch this over here, whatever this object is going to be, we are going to trigger again a blueprint that is going to show a message that we won, and we are going to reload the level all over again. So this is gonna be the basic functionality of a game, and we can make it so much better by adding collectibles, by adding points, by adding different other options to the game. So yeah, we're gonna be working on that. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you liked today's live of Unreal Engine and that you're learning something super fun. That's all for me today, and we'll see each other on the next Thursday. Have a good night.